Hey bees! I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making some midnight coffee beard oil. My tester said that this beard oil smells like old books, and I honestly don't think there's a higher compliment for much of anything. Old books is one of my favorite smells. So there are notes of coffee and just a tiny hint of wood smoke and some black tea in here, and it's also a lovely blend of oils that will really help sort of spruce up your beard, give it a little bit of shine, and kill that winter itch that can happen. When you look at the recipe and you see the small amounts that we're using of each oil, you might kind of wonder if we are perhaps making beard oil for mice, because it is a very small yield recipe. Honestly, most of my recipes are. I scale them down so that it's a reasonable amount for a single person to use. I don't want you to go and make a huge batch of something and then discover that you don't like it, and now that you've wasted all of your ingredients on it, you kind of feel like you have to use it. That's really disappointing. I did that a lot when I first started making things. I think I honestly still have some of the very first batch of lip balm I ever made, because it was massive. It was like a 25 tube batch of lip balm. And if you think about a tube of lip balm is about 4.5 grams. And think about how long that lasts. So we're going to be making about twice as much beard oil. And so that actually goes a really long way when you're just one person using it. It also gives you more time to use one recipe, figure out what you think, maybe you want to change the scent blend, make it stronger, maybe you want to add something, maybe you want to swap out an oil. So when you make smaller batches of stuff, it's way more fun when you're doing it for yourself. The batch I'm making is half the size of the one that I have written out down below. That's because the scale I'm using measures to 2 decimal points, and I don't want to sort of force you to have one of those, so I've multiplied it up so that you can do this recipe if you only have a scale that measures in whole grams. This recipe is in weight, not in volume, so even though I have provided ounce measurements, those are like weight ounces, not fluid ounces. For the life of me, I don't understand why those two things are different but have like a very similar name, but I grew up with a metric system, so what do I know? All right, let's go make some beard oil. Because we're making such a small batch, I'm going to weigh all of our ingredients directly into the container that we'll be using, rather than measuring them into smaller dishes and then moving them into here. So to do this, I'll be doing it by weight. So I have this tiny little scale here that is accurate to 2 decimal points of a gram, which is fantastic for this project. So I'll pop that on there and we'll tare it. And we'll start with our first oil, which is meadowfoam oil. And so because I am living on the edge here and measuring directly into the container where our finished product will live, I'm going to use a disposable pipette. That way I can really slow down to just drop by drop as we start to approach our final measurement, which for this oil is 1.5 grams. Our next ingredient is 3 grams of sweet almond oil. And I've got a great big bottle of that here, but a nice little dropper. So 3 grams, tare the scale again. Now we'll add 3 grams of castor oil, and this one's a sticky one, so getting this sucked up into our dropper is gonna take a little while. 3 grams, tare the scale. Now I need 2.5 grams of jojoba oil. Unfortunately, this jojoba oil comes with a little spout, so I don't need a dropper for this because it basically has one built in. So we're done with the scale here. So the last couple things we're going to add are the vitamin E and our essential oils. So for the vitamin E, I'm running pretty low here, so I'm going to get in there with a little spatula and scrape some out, and then use a funnel here. Now it would have been a smart idea to do this at the beginning and then flush some of the beard oils through here so that the viscous vitamin E oil actually got pushed through, but oh well. You just need about 2 drops in there anyways, so I'm sure that's totally fine. And we'll wrap things up with our essential oils. So it's a medley of 4 essential oils. We have Peru balsam, which smells a lot like vanilla, which is really neat. If you don't have it, you can use a bit of benzoin instead. We We have some rectified cade, which smells really smoky. If you don't have cade, you can use vetiver or birch tar instead. Both of those are also very smoky. We have some palmarosa, which sort of smells like black tea, which I love. And of course, some super roasted coffee essential oil, which smells exactly like coffee and is amazing. So we'll use 6 drops of coffee essential oil. And the dropper on this one is a little gimpy. It's too small for the hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Haha. Fortunately, it's a viscous enough oil that you can just drop it out of the jar. We're going to do 2 drops of palmarosa, 10 drops of our vanilla-y Peru balsam, and the teensiest amount of cade. Even 1 drop of cade is way too much. So what I'm going to do is take our eyedropper here, just kind of stick it in, and it just has the tiniest amount of color on there from the oil, and that's how we'll do that. Even just having this jar open, everything smells like smoke. So I'm gonna seal that up again. We'll screw our lid on here, give that a shake. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make beard oil. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and check the description box below for the full written recipe and links to buy everything I used in this recipe. See you next time.